Hey, what's up, guys? This is Robert here with the Starving Artist Collection. The vision here is to help artists, entertainers, and athletes to have a better quality of life by learning and adopt NFTs into their own personal portfolios. Um, in doing so, they are able to have forms of engagement with their fans, owners, coaches, and create token gate access as time goes on. The biggest problem right now is that with an artist is that the term starving has been used for centuries. Why? Because artists normally die poor. Artists, entertainers, and when you once you pass, then you become wealthy, but you're not here around to enjoy it. Even people like Michael Jackson, the majority of the revenue for the Michael Jackson branding made more money after he passed away. So we want to change that narrative, most importantly. And people who are artists, entertainers, athletes are normally not appreciated. And that's another big problem. So we want to change that and create a very exclusive community for each and every single last person. The solution is to help them get into the NFT and crypto space. That way they're able to create a second form of income doing what they're already doing. And with that, we want to provide a form of financial literacy and NFT education, crypto education. That way they are able to do the same exact thing for others as time continues to go on. We want to make sure they get favorable contracts. That way, we're going to use protocols like ETHSign.xyz. That way, we're able to create a contract that's favorable towards the artist, not necessarily the DAO or anything else that we're going to create within our entire system. And I understand this because me personally, I've been an artist for well over 20 years. Elementary, middle, and high school, I've been in magnet school programs, visual and performing arts, and I know how expensive it is to purchase materials. The time it takes to then make the art. I used to make large pieces of painting, 6 feet by 4 feet, acrylic, and it takes a lot of time. It takes minimum 20, 30, 40 hours of work in order to get something halfway decent sometimes. And that costs a lot of money. And I saw a lot of students leaving the art programs, whether it was music, art, drama, piano, whatever it might be, because they weren't able to afford it. And that's something that we must change as time goes on. So part of our roadmap is that we started building some of this to create parodies of historical references. Meaning, we all know there's hyperinflation coming, it's right around the corner. We created hyperinflation NFTs over a year ago. That way, people can see satires and parodies for that history only tends to repeat itself. And using this as a form of reference and education so the community can learn that, hey, what can we do to make sure we are more better prepared for a negative outcome, which inevitably it's going to happen. So we created different types of NFTs within working with different artists, and as time went on, designers, and as we continue to evolve the idea with what Starving Artist Collection is meant, we then created NFTs for sport franchises. In this case, we created for Kabaddi. And what we ended up doing is that we integrated all these different NFTs that we created into one metaverse. So we created a metaverse using Gather Protocol and built everything under for Kabaddi under one metaverse. So we integrate all the different NFTs that we built to show people a form of utilization and a product and a service. So we created NFTs on Opensea, Polygon, MintGate, AlgoGems, Paras, Near. Then we create token gate access, whether or not if you have a gold NFT or a regular NFT. That way, we're able to create forms of utility and show forms of social hierarchy depending on how much engagement and how much you really care about being with an exclusive community for that specific artist or entertainer or athlete in this case. And so we then even created event tickets using Polygon. That way people were able to purchase these tickets and use them as like a favorable collectible as time went on. And so then as this idea continued to evolve, we then partnered up, which I'm also the founder of, with YCC Youth Crypto Conference, where we had our first event in Miami, had over about 100 people there. We have supporters, endorsers, sponsors like NFTs.tips, Sargent Funds, Gaia Gives, Chris Nehemiah, Nalja Roberts, and many other individuals helping us within all these future projects. So within YCC, we're going to create NFTs for each of the speakers, and then we're going to create event ticket NFTs. That way people can come to these events and use this as like, hey, like you have a collectible item saying and this is the type of social credit we're going to provide because you're helping with the youth, you're helping us grow with the kids, and you're helping us making sure we can fund art programs and public education programs around the country, because arts are dying and we see there's a revitalization of art, but in the schools we got to figure out to make that a little bit better. So we're doing this all over the world for YCC, Kenya, Nairobi, the Philippines, LA. We just did it in Miami. We're doing it in Austin on June 8th, where you're going to see on June 8th, all of our tickets are NFTs for the event, for the speakers, for the fans, for people to buy and support, etc. We're going to create a tokenomics for that as time went on. By November of 2022, I found an artist and a musician that's going to go ahead and work with us. So the first one is Megumi Bowles. She was signed by Sony for over 2 years. She got offers to go to sign and sing and go on tour with Maluma and Beyonce and Universal Studios, and she just refuses that because the contracts aren't favorable to the artists. They're not. They're not whatsoever. So what we're going to do now is release a single. First, I'm going to teach her more about the NFT space, and we're going to release singles, one per month, from now all the way to November, where then by November we're releasing an album NFT of her music. That way, she already has almost 200,000 followers on just Instagram alone. So there's a demand of individuals that's going to want her her product 100%. And the other person we're working with is Andre. Andre has been an artist for over 20 years and a chef. He raised over $250,000 in order to help fund research for Dr. Jill's quantum physics, and he makes large oil paintings of art. So what we're going to do with him, which is so awesome, is that we're going to make an NFT plus the oil painting. So when you purchase the NFT, his normal art goes for $10,000. Now you buy the NFT, $10,000 to say it is. Now you're going to get the actual physical art plus the NFT. Then the person who purchases this combination has an opportunity to sell each one individually if you choose to. So now you have an extra source of income for the buyer, the seller, and they have a royalty program so we can help out Andres. So this is all going to get done by the November at the same time. This is so important in order to have utility, because I don't believe NFT works without a form of utility. Really create like, hey, this is the NFT, but here's the actual physical thing. And then because you're supporting us, you're going to have access to meta galleries that we're creating. You're going to have access to art galleries that we're posting, and we're going to be able to sell you. We're going to provide you free tickets to places like Art Basel and the Digital Assets Collection and NFT New York. That way people can get involved into this space, and people can say, hey, like, thanks to the starving artist community, like, I'm here right now. And that makes it the really interesting thing, because we got to bring people back into the arts and have reasons for the arts too. We want to then give some of the, hey, we want to inspire kids by, hey, here's Art Basel. You can't afford a $500 ticket. Come, go for it. We're also going to create virtual reality stores using virtual real estate that we own, and these stores are going to have accessories where for the artists and for people who are able to purchase. We partnered up with a 3D meta body scanning company where they're able to scan you completely and put you as an NFT into the 3D world. And then we're able to sell you accessories for how you want to dress you yourself. It's going to be actually you at a 3D version, and we're going to be able to put this on Sandbox, Decentraland, Opensea, whatever it might be. No big deal. But at the same time, we're going to create merchandise for the people that we're working with, the artists. In this case, Andre and Megumi as two examples of many people, of many other examples. People we're working with, NFTs.tiz, Sal Diguarida, Amber Stoneman, Maddie Rogers, Nalja Roberts, Sarson Funds, 2KP. These are people within our circle that just cares about very similar social impact things we're establishing and creating. And it's going to be very unique for the future. And at the same time, I want to give away some free NFTs. So if you want to hit me up at metaarenaverse@gmail.com, we will give you all the NFTs for free. We want to give them out so people can learn about the artist and learn about the art and what we're doing. And with that, I bid you guys adieu. You guys take care.